I'm Nathan Judo. I'm here with Wolves reporter Mr. Joe Edgewood. It is Wednesday, and that means it is the Defenders, baby, the Defenders. Where do we start? Let's start on the left, and we'll move our way across.
Okay.
So left. Let's be honest. It's had its issues. Marçal.
Yeah.
Kilman.
Yeah.
Saiss.
Yeah.
Johnny.
Yeah.
Ainouri.
I think that's your lot, yeah. Vinagre for like a game or two.
Was there this season?
Yeah, it was West Ham away.
Who else do we say Hoover on the left at some point, or do we go on the left for a little bit of a game?
What, played on the left one game maybe?
There's a lot. Hence is the problem, Joe.
Yeah.
Hence is the problem, because we talk about all this and we're going to next season and we still don't quite know who's going to be that left back next season. No. And I guess that's the issue of this season that's just gone by, is that it's been very difficult. Of course, you'd have thought Ryan Ainouri and Johnny, the main two, have been this season. I thought Ainouri actually did a decent job. I thought he showed promise.
Yeah.
I thought he showed that he's going to be a quality defender, I think. He's definitely got issues to work on.
Yes.
He's definitely got a little bit of naivety about him, but I thought defensively, especially, he improved as the season went on. He got a lot more confident, and when you get more starts, and you're not just the odd start here and there, you're going to get more confident, I think. The decision's got to be made of whether to sign him permanently, and the decision's got to be made pretty quickly, because you've got Ruben Vinagre coming back from loan, so he's going to be available. Is he going to be sold? You've also got Johnny, who of course, unfortunately, as everybody knows, has got another serious knee injury. We're probably not going to see him until 2022. So look, it's definitely a priority. I say the main priority, but there's other places in the park as well. But you've got to make a decision like Nori pretty quickly, I think.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, Johnny's not coming back anytime soon, unfortunately. Just such horrible luck, really. Two serious ACL injuries within the space of a year, so he's going to be out, as you say, until the new year. And then Ainouri, I think he did pretty well. Like, towards the end, especially, I think he sharpened up defensively. I think he was always pretty decent going forward, but I think he got the basics nailed down more so towards the end. Do like him. I think 20 million, which was the option of the deal. I think that is quite a lot of money. If they can negotiate that price and maybe use a sale of Ruben Vinagre to kind of offset the cost, then maybe that's a deal worth exploring. But I think there is also an argument to say you'd like somebody a bit more experienced starting that first game of next season, to be honest. I mean, Fernando Marçal, can you really account for him just because of all the injury issues that he's had? Can you really rely on him, over the course of a season? So I do like Ainouri. I think, I wouldn't be sad to see him back. I'd be quite happy to see him back. I think there is definitely a player there. But if he was to come back, I'd maybe lean into I'd want to get somebody more experienced in as well.
Yeah, I think so too, because like you say, Marçal, you can't rely on Marçal next season, can you?
No, I don't think
you can't. I mean, I actually quite like Marçal when he played. I thought he was pretty solid. I thought even, obviously he hasn't got the legs, but I still think he was useful going forward a little bit. Obviously defensively he's a lot more solid, and if he was fit, then I think we'd be less worried about that position.
Yes. Yeah.
I still think that I would have liked to see him on that left-hand side of the centre back as well, actually. But we didn't really see him there. We saw him almost on left back. But goodness me, you cannot rely on him to play 2 games in a row, unfortunately. And hopefully that will change next season. But you can't just go into the season with just Marçal as your left back and wait for Johnny. There's no chance in a million years that can happen with maybe a Max Kilman or a Saiss as an emergency. That's just asking for trouble.
Well, he had a history of muscle injuries before arriving at Wolves, and that history of muscle injuries has carried on, and I'd see no reason why really it'd let up massively. I think he's always going to be susceptible to him, and that's just it, really. I just don't think he can really account for him too much. You can't place too much emphasis on him.
Yeah, of course. Right, centre backs. Whoa, centre backs, baby. Willy Bolly, Cody, Dendoncker, Kilman, Saiss.
Yeah.
That's probably it. Look, like we could go back and forth. Okay. Willy Bolly obviously was out for quite a while. Came back. Connor Cody has got issues, I guess, in a back four. People say so. I can understand that. Although we've got him playing for England, and that's a decision that's going to be made that maybe Nuno was making. Maybe that's completely changed again. There's a lot of question marks. What I've got to say is if Bruno Lage is going to play a 4-4-2, you want Willy Bolly as your centre back, and there has to be another central defender that has to come in.
Oh yeah. I mean, this bunch of centre halves
midfielders?
Really has been the same for 4 years since when Nuno kind of walked in the door. You know, they had Cody then, they had Bolly then, they had Sace then, albeit as a midfielder. I mean, Kilman's came through in that time, but he's almost kind of took people a little bit by surprise, I'd imagine. You know, with how established kind of he's become, you know, as a non-league signing. They tried Vallejo, didn't work. Obviously, Bennett left and was never really replaced. So, yeah, for me, centre-half is the big priority going into the summer. I think if you're going to spend big money anywhere, it's probably there first and foremost, closely followed by midfield. But yeah, I mean, defending set pieces was a glaring weakness last season. If Willy Bolly wasn't in the team, which was quite a lot because he had his fair share of injury issues as well, and then kind of in different form at times as well when he was back in the team. But if he wasn't in the team, especially, Wolves were woeful at set pieces. Glaring weakness. Just not enough height, I don't think, at the back. I mean, Cody obviously not the tallest. Sace has been, another that's been converted from a midfielder. I think they need a tall, commanding centre half with a bit of experience behind him. I mean, I know they don't grow on trees, but yeah, for me, that is the big position to prioritise. And with Larger coming in, be interesting to see how he sees Conor Cody and what he thinks of him. Of course, he's Wolves' leader, he's Wolves' captain, fantastic ambassador for the club, and a very good player as well. I mean, let's not do him a disservice. He's with England at the Euros for a reason, but is he quite right for a back four long term? These are questions that Larger really kind of needs to answer, and it could be an interesting summer there in defence.
Look, if you're going to bring a centre back in as well, for me, and you're talking about Cody and Cody out. I mean, for me, 100% you have Conor Cody at this club going forward next season. I think he'll still play a lot of games going forward. But if you're talking about him potentially being out the side or whatnot, then end of the day, he's the leader of this football club, and really you look at that pitch and there's no leaders on that football pitch without him. So if you're going to bring someone in, for me, he's got to have the full package. He's got to be vocal, he's got to be a leader, he's got to be experienced, he's got to be someone who's probably got Premier League experience as well, to do all that. It's a tough ask, and you can't do that spending 3, 4, 5 million quid or getting a loan signing. You're going to have to spend big money on someone to get quality. Okay, I know Fosun are very good, they're a business, they run very, very well, but sometimes you've got to put your money where your mouth is. If you want a quality play and you want to get to 6th, 7th, 8th in the league and be continually European contenders, you're going to have to get your wallet out.
Well, I mean, look at an Everton who spend 40, 50 million here, there and everywhere, and they finished 10th last season, so and with Carlo Ancelotti in charge.
Yeah.
So,
good enough for Real Madrid. So,
yeah, well, exactly. So, you got to spend the money, and centre half, as I say, if there is one place where I'd want the big money to be spent, I'd like a substantial amount of money to be spent in midfield as well. But the biggest amount, I think, would be at centre half. I think it's an issue that just cannot be ignored any longer. Really.
No, right. We'll go to the right hand side. Look, Nelson Semedo, who. I mean, look, fair enough, he had a difficult start. He took a while to bed into English football, as you can expect, as we kind of knew. Probably a bit longer than most people thought.
Yeah.
However, we started to see a little bit towards the end of the season, especially that last game against Manchester United. I thought he was very good going forward and defensively. He's going to take some more time, whether he's a finished package or not. But when you look at maybe the starters next season, there's very few who haven't got question marks against them. Semedo's probably the only one who's probably a guaranteed right back starter, I would have thought, next season.
I think so, and especially with Larger coming in and having a penchant for playing with attacking full-backs like he did at Benfica. Maybe they see that as the way to kind of unlock what they wanted out of Semedo. He's shown it in fits and starts, I think, but I think a lot of people would say 27 million, he's not quite justified that price tag at the minute. So next season is a big one for him, and I think Larger probably will place that trust in him to be that right back, like Kian Hoover. I think he's a good young player. For me, I can see why the thinking is that he might be a centre half long term. He quite a tall lad, quite a rangy lad. Maybe not quite there yet physically, but I do think he could be definitely a centre half long term. But he's a good right back for now. So they've at least got Hoover coming through in that position as cover. Semedo, hopefully, as you say, he had a decent end to the season, so hopefully he can carry that on into next and really start to justify his price tag. And while it's not everything a right back is about, chipping with a few more goals and assists and kind of offset those goals lost when Doherty left.
Okay, so looking at the defence as a whole, I mean, defensively, I thought they were pretty sound. They still didn't leak too many goals, did they?
No.
But at the same time, they will definitely want to shore it up, I think. And like you say, centre-back, the absolute priority.
Absolute
As we've been
priority.
saying in the last 42 transfer windows,
Yeah.
centre-back is the most important priority. Surely they must sign someone. But, of course, if Nuri isn't signed, then they've got to get another left-back, don't they? Or could you see a situation where maybe Vinagre is the left-back until... Oh, you sound super excited about that. Vinagre is the left-back until Johnny comes back.
I really liked Vinagre. I was a really big fan of his, but I just think maybe that ship is sailed now.
So do you spend? I mean, again, it's a lot of money on Aït-Nouri.
Yeah.
For me, out of the three, I think Aït-Nouri would put the first one on the list that I'd want to sign. But again, a lot of money. Can they look at maybe a second loan? Can they look at another deal where you're paying maybe 3, 4, 5 million quid over a season? From a loan point of view, or another view to a buy again. They're going to have to get creative this transfer window. I think they've said that in the Q&As, and maybe left back, especially with Johnny. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, when he does come back, he's the Johnny we know and love, and he stays fit. There's no guarantees, of course, on that. But if you are seeing him as your long-term option, then you'd rather have that someone to fill in that void, and rather than spending big money. And there's a lot of free agents out there as well, Joe.
Yeah, I think Aït-Nouri comes into offsetting Vinagre and then offsetting that cost. I think that's the way you kind of do that deal. I think they've got to stick to one of them, haven't they? It's got to be Aït-Nouri or Vinagre. I don't see really the room for both of them. It's got to be one or the other. So decisions to make, but as we say, the big thing, and we've been saying it for a few years, centre half must be signed. And many fans may think too, because you've got Saiss and Bolly who are going to be going to the African Cup of Nations in the new year. Max Kilman has done well whenever he's been called upon, but really, do you want him to be that starting? I think he's still developing.
Yeah.
So
is Saiss a starter for you?
No.
For you, I mean, for me, I'd love to see. Look, in a cracking Wolves side, I'd love to see someone like Leander Dendoncker and a Roman Saiss on the bench. If you've got those two guys on your bench, being versatile, then Wolves are in a strong position. When they're both starting for you, and you're looking to the bench and there's a load of kids, it's a completely different scenario.
Yeah, Saiss, Dendoncker. I think that if you really want to be pushing for Europe and stuff like that, I think these are players that can become squad players. Still important players.
Still important. We'll still play probably 15, 20, 25 games, maybe not 38.
Yeah, but yeah. So, the big takeaway is a centre half and a proper one as well.
Can you play there?
No.
No, neither can I. Absolute bang average. That's the end of the Defenders Review. Stay with us tomorrow. We'll have the midfielders for you.